In the shelves, or the cabinets rather, these aren't shelves, got all the controllers, extras and things like that, arranged by system and region. So those are all on the lid there. I've got at least 2 of every type of controller for every system. Got the mouse for the Super NES, got the receiver for the Super Scope, which is the bazooka gun, which is in here. And then the cartridge for the Satellaview, which is how you downloaded the games or whatever content that you wanted. So underneath that bin is another. Let me take the lid off of that. And what do we have in this one? N64 controllers. The N64 mouse, which was released only in Japan and was for use with a 64DD game, which is like a really enhanced Mario Paint, like for the Super NES. And it used this cartridge with composite video and audio and all that type of stuff on there, where you could hook a camera up to it and edit photos, and it's really neat, but it's in Japanese, so I have very limited use of it. Got a transfer pack in there, cleaning kit, rumble packs, microphone, all that type of stuff. So those are N64 peripherals and controllers. Well, I got the lid off, got the NES Advantage. Got a little holster for a Wii controller to make it more comfortable if you're going to use it on its side. And this little, it's not licensed by Nintendo, but it lets you use NES controllers, Genesis controllers, SNES controllers, and N64 controllers on the Wii or the GameCube if it would work for virtual console games or any other type of games that support the GameCube controller. So then the bazooka, the Super Scope, is in there, and then the Advantage for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. These are extensions and adapters. I've got another adapter, SNES to GameCube or Wii, and then NES to GameCube or Wii is this one right here. Take the lid off this bin. We've got multiplayer accessories, the 4-score, and the I don't know what these things are called. The satellite, which is the wireless one. And then below that, the zapper. And then below this bin is another one. What's in this? Ah yes, pieces for Rob the Robot. We've got the stack-up components and then the gyromite components. This bin on top, we've got the N64 controllers that I use, as well as the GameCube controllers that I use, and the Wii controllers that I'm currently using. This white GameCube controller is a Japanese import, and then I've got the Wavebird as well. Really, I loved the Wavebird's wireless, but that it doesn't include rumble really bugs me, so I don't use it too much. Let's see what's in this one if we take the lid off. All sorts of Game Boy accessories. Got the printer, the AC adapter, the 4-player adapter, things for the DS as well, like the drum pad for Guitar Hero. This is an accessory that is essentially a mouse. It turns the DS into a mouse that was released with one of my import games called Slide Adventure Mag Kid or something like that. It's really pretty neat the way that it works. Then a bunch of AC adapters and things for the Game Boy or the Nintendo DS. Then below that bin is another bin. What do we have in here? GameCube controllers and Wii controllers, including the Zapper and the Gold controller and the original Classic controller and all that good stuff. So, it's all the controllers. Alright. One bin down. One to go. Not quite as much in this one. In the back, I've got the original power pad for the Nintendo Entertainment System. 2 Wii wheels on top of a balance board for the Wii. Rob the Robot. The dance pad that came with Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix for the GameCube. Also works on the Wii. 2 sets of Donkey Kong bongos. I've got 2 others elsewhere. And I guess just some miscellaneous Club Nintendo things. I've got the 4 colored wrist straps for the Wii remotes. And then the Super Mario Galaxy coin. It's a commemorative coin that you would get if you pre-ordered the game. So I guess those are just living in here for now. That's really all that's in the second bin here. I'm assuming that once Wii U comes out, the big Wii U controller, which is yet unnamed, will sit on top of the balance board, or I don't know, maybe even right here. Okay, moving along. Before we get away from the system shelf, I'll just take you up top here. These are reproductions. I scanned them and printed them out on paper. Reproductions of flyers that were included with Disk System in Japan, and I believe even the console. But they're just some ads for a couple of my favorite NES or Famicom games. Kid Icarus, Metroid, Legend of Zelda, and Super Mario Bros. 2. Then in between them you'll see some N64 games. Those are sealed. They've never been opened. Wave Race 64 is one of my most favorite games ever. So is Super Mario 64. And Killer Instinct Gold isn't one of my favorite games, but I've got a sealed copy of it. So to round out and to make everything symmetrical, it's up there with everything else. I'm really not a sealed type of guy. Once I have something, I open it. I don't plan to let it go. So that sealed value doesn't mean much. Framed Super Mario Galaxy 2 poster to complement the original I have. Some figurines from Nintendo World Store in New York, along with some candy tins that I got from a store around here. A scan, a copy of the original Nintendo Seal of Quality, which we all know doesn't really mean much. It just means that the company paid Nintendo to be able to put Nintendo's name on their product. So there used to be a whole spiel behind it. Now it's just Nintendo Seal. That's what they've reduced all that to. Which honestly, that's really all it's worth. Then on this shelf, all the player's guides, organized by system. Running out of room soon, but like I said, I've got more shelves and I can expand as things need it. This is a little album of trading cards that used to come in issues of Nintendo Power. I don't have all of them, but I have quite a few. Then along the same lines, this Animal Crossing binder. Somebody saw it in one of my other videos and wanted to know what it was. The original Animal Crossing for GameCube it had a whole bunch of e-reader cards that would give you things or give you new characters, whatever the case may be. So there were 4 series, and this binder has every single card for Animal Crossing, the e-reader cards. So series 2, 3, 4, and then 2 cards came not in a pack, not on a particular series. One of them I believe was included in Nintendo Power Magazine, and then the other one was included when you bought your e-reader. So those are the 2 that weren't part of a pack necessarily. Okay, moving down, just a couple Nintendo related things I have. A puzzle and 2 Monopoly sets. There are 2 versions of it. They're both very different with different pieces and a different board. Why that was the case, they made 2 versions, I'm not sure. Bottom shelf here, these are the collector's edition player's guides of the 3 most recent Legend of Zelda games and the 2 Mario Galaxy games. They are sealed, and I have the regular softcover edition, so I don't plan to open these. This is the Blockbuster video case for the Virtual Boy. And the Virtual Boy is currently living on top of the speaker over here with a Goomba, next to the promotional brochures that I've collected for each Nintendo system. I've got one for the NES, Game Boy, Super NES, N64, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, Virtual Boy, obviously. But once Wii came out, they started giving you DVDs instead of brochures. But I've got just about every one that there is. Alright, so that wraps up everything that's Nintendo related in the Nintendo Loft. And you may ask, what? There's stuff that isn't Nintendo related? To answer several subscriber questions, yeah, there is. I've got a couple game systems that aren't Nintendo related that have been relegated over to this side of the Nintendo Loft. And they are the Sega Genesis with Sega CD and the PlayStation 3. Sega Genesis and Sega CD, I have that. because I always wanted one as a kid because I wanted to play Sonic the Hedgehog, and you obviously couldn't on any Nintendo system. And I know you can now, and you can do it with component video, and it looks great, but there's something to be said about having the original stuff. And it's something from when I was a kid, so I'm happy to have it. Plus, I think it's one of the coolest looking video game systems ever. So all the Genesis games I have are on that shelf right there. And again, I'm not going to go through them all, but check out backloggery.com/yoy, and you can take a look at what I have. And then in this shelf here, or this little drawer, controllers, Sega CD games, and oh hi, I saved this. This is from Mark from Classic Game Room. I don't know if you watch his channel, but you should. Classic Game Room, CGR Undertow, all that good stuff. I donated something, and he thanked me on a post-it note, signed it, and attached it to, what is this? Oh my god, he autographed the game too. NHL Hockey for the Genesis. So, yeah, an integral part of my collection. Thanks, Mark. And then the other system, the PS3. Why would I have a PS3? Well, there's a couple of reasons. When I was growing up, I was always a Street Fighter fan. So when Street Fighter 4 came out, of course it wasn't on the Wii, and I did want to play that. So I chose to get it on the PS3 because you use the digital pad and not the analog stick, and I really think that the PlayStation controller is more suited for that type of control over the 360 controller. So that's one of the main reasons why I got the PS3. Plus, I'm really into Rock Band and Guitar Hero games and things like that, so I wanted to have those in HD. I had all of these games, the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, on the Wii, along with the instruments and all that good stuff, but I Craigslisted all that and traded it in for the PS3 versions. And the nice thing is I like the Guitar Hero guitar, but I prefer the Rock Band drums. And with PS3, you can mix and match and interchange. With the Wii, you can't. So it greatly cut down on the clutter I had with all those instruments lying around. So you got a bunch of PS1 games here, PS3 games. Of course, this PS3 Slim is not compatible with PS2 games, so oh well to that. I do have one. I have Okami for PS2, but I can't play it. And then in this drawer here, controllers for PS3 and PS1. I've got the PS1, the redesign with the LCD screen, which is really cool. I love that thing. Strategy guide for 3D Dot Game Heroes. I love that game. And then just a bunch of wires and things like that. So yeah, this is really the world of Nintendo and Sega Genesis and PS3. But mainly, it's Nintendo. So, that'll be the last video room update in a while. Hope you enjoyed it. And as I complete other franchises of Nintendo products, I will be putting videos online just like I have for my Kirby and Donkey Kong and Mario and Zelda collections. But anyway, thanks for watching and expressing an interest in the nerdy things that I do. See you later. Hey YouTube, I wanted to do an updated World of Nintendo tour before.